So the main idea behind this video is to give an absolute beginner's guide to the HMS Neptune. It's a tier 9 Royal Navy cruiser and it can be extremely powerful in certain situations. What I'm going to provide to you is basically how to play it in certain scenarios, certain maps, certain play styles, and basically the best kind of, well, what I find is the best fit for this ship in terms of modules, captain skills, and anything else relating to the ship. Let's have a look at the armor layout initially. And look at that. There basically is no armor. It's completely non-existent. You're basically not gonna have to play this ship as though any one shell can completely devastate you. Which isn't too bad because the Royal Navy is known for its incredible heals, but that won't save you if you constantly get shot at. Obviously the side armor is about 60mm, basically non-existent, and the citadel is incredibly exposed. I don't think I can think of another ship that has a citadel this exposed. So that's basically it. There's not that much to talk about in terms of armor on this ship. The main strength comes from its ability to basically hide and seek, or as I like to say it, hide and shoot. Looking at the artillery, it's a 4x3 layout, 152mm, which is not too shabby at all. The main strength of this is getting close enough so that you can effectively use it. It's really strong, but only at maybe say 12 to 13 kilometers from my experience. But we'll see that when we go to review some gameplay. Looking at the torpedoes, it's a 4x4 layout. Now the one thing I will say about these torpedoes is that they can also be fired single. So you can fire one torpedo at a time in any given direction, which is incredibly useful if you ever get into, like, say, a 3-kilometer brawl with a battleship or another cruiser, or even a destroyer. You can fire off single, well, maybe not a destroyer, but you can fire off multiple torpedoes in one direction, take them out, happy days. Although, if you get into a 3-kilometer brawl with a battleship, you're probably going to get citadeled 15 times and die. So there's that. AA defense, fairly good, incredibly good actually, but as you'd expect, given the next ship up is a Minotaur, you'd expect the AA defense to be pretty good on this ship too. So not much to say about that because, I mean, as an absolute beginner, you're not going to have much experience with it. Looking at maneuverability, 35 knots is fairly good for this ship. The main thing I will say, it's not so much about the maximum speed, but the acceleration. The acceleration on this ship is incredible. It's one of the best I've... going from this ship to, say, any other lower tier kind of ships, like, what's happening? I need that acceleration. You get so used to it. The concealment. With concealment expert as a captain skill, 10.6 kilometers concealment. That is incredibly good. So damn good. And then you have things like detectability range by air, which is pretty given, and assured detectability range 2 kilometers as expected. And then the one thing I would say to look out for is the detectability range after firing your guns in smoke. This can catch a lot of people out, and when I first started playing the ship, it caught me out a couple of times. You could be firing at a ship 8 kilometers, 7 kilometers away, and then suddenly it just gets into that 6.5 kilometers, you're ready to fire your torps, but then you get citadel 13 times and you die. So look out for that, especially when using smoke, which is an incredibly strong aspect of this ship. Okay, so moving on to the modules. Basically, this ship, I suppose with every ship you need to take premium modules to have the best chance, but with this ship more than most, it's incredibly important that you take premium smoke and that you take premium heal. Not so much heal. If I were to decide between heal and smoke, I'd take smoke every time. How quickly this comes back up and how long it lasts for, it means you can basically go from smoke to smoke and never be detected effectively if you use it correctly. And if you're in a map with no rocks or anything to hide behind initially, you're going to have premium smoke. Otherwise you're just going to die. Unless you're an incredibly good player, in which case you wouldn't be watching this video. And then you can take basically damage control party 2 and hydroacoustic search if you want to. But these two I'd say be on Maybe damage control would be higher than the heal. These two would be probably even. Smoke first, these two, and then hydroacoustic surge. And then upgrades pretty bog standard. Main armaments modification 1. Steering gears mod 1. AA guns mod 1. Steering gears mod 2. Concealment system mod 1. And main battery modification 3. I'm not too up to date in this because I'm not an incredibly experienced player. But these are things that I found work best for me. Maybe they'll help you to the captain skills. So the main 3 that I kind of swear by is priority target, superintendent, and concealment expert. If you have those 3, then you can have a little bit of variability in what you want to choose. Having superintendent gives you that extra smoke, gives you that extra heal, which is so important in prolonged battles. Having 4 smokes instead of 3 is so incredibly useful. Obviously the heal doesn't hurt either. And priority targets, that's just a given on most ships. And that's it. Then you can have some variability with jack of all trades. Maybe you want to increase the size of your smoke screen because you'll be using it that much. And then adrenaline rush. Just after those 3, and maybe these 4, smoke screen expert included in that, you can have a bit of variability and see what works best for you. Okay, so with that, let's get into some gameplay. Alright, so this is a game I played a little while ago, not too long ago. So it should demonstrate some of the key play styles, key aspects of playing the Neptune so far. Alright. So start the game. Let's see what we got. We got 2 carriers, a Conqueror, 2 Curvers, Yamato. Okay, we're up tiered, which is what you'd expect. You're tier 9. Most of your games are going to be against tier 10, so there's no real surprise there. Enemy team has Conqueror, Republic, 2 Curvers, Hakakuro, Midway, the Musashi, Henri, Buffalo, Edinburgh, Fletcher, Chungo. Basically, outside of the destroyers, every one of those ships can kill you very quickly and very effectively. It's up to you to play correct and play the right way to stop them from doing that. Right, so basically my main idea here is to get to this island initially as fast as I can and get beside it. And then I'll read the map, see what other ships are doing, and then take appropriate actions based on that. But your first plan should always be get concealed. Make sure no one can see me. Make sure no one's got me locked in their radar. And then you'll get room to move as a result. Okay, so we're just edging our way up into this island. We see the Edinburgh start to push in. It's really important that you have these effects enabled in the minimap, because then you can see which ships are moving where. And it'll affect how you play the game too. Like if I seen, say, the Curvers pushing where the Edinburgh is now, I'd probably be a lot more apprehensive about pushing in this direction. But seeing as it is the Edinburgh, I'm not all that worried, so to speak. And you might notice actually in this game, I didn't take premium smoke, which was a pretty major mistake. I didn't get punished for it all that much, but it was still an incredible mistake. Now I see the Edinburgh open up, and I start firing. 9 kilometers away, these shells are going to hit like a truck. But again, he's hiding behind the island, as expected. Royal Navy cruisers have to play so defensive. In a second here, I'm going to open up with torps. If he pushes too hard in. And I'm seeing it being locked on. Smoke immediately, get undetected. Concealment first, shooting later. And now I see the Edinburgh pushing in that direction, right here. So I'm going to torp. There's no need for me to switch to single torps, so I didn't need to use that. And as you can see there, I took quite significant damage from not that many shells. Which is why it's so important that you always be concealed first before you shoot. Especially in smoke. I'm in a pretty good position here. I can protect my jutland. I can oversee the cap. And now I see the Chungpu moving in. And immediately open fire. I don't really know what this guy was doing, but it was pretty much thanks for the free XP. Now, at the same time I'm shooting at this guy, I need to be remembering that the Edinburgh is right there. He's probably like 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers away, right here. So I need to be aware of that at all times. Again, you have to remember, 14 seconds, 13 seconds, your smoke's going to run out. You have to be ready to move immediately. That's caught me out more than once. Torps away again. Because I know his smoke's going to time out this around about the same time as mine. And he has to move effectively, because based on his position in the minimap, he's either going to have to push into B or reverse back out. And if I know something about players, they want to go fast. So they always push forward. And it's going to result in him getting hit by a torp. Right now. There you go. Good stuff. Now, some pretty interesting moves from the Conqueror and the Kurfürst. They pushed fairly wide. Again, right now, Edinburgh's coming straight on, or trying to push through that objective. I get bow on as soon as possible, even though it opens me up to the Henri. And I get 3 citadels. Basically, the Minotaur is made of paper the same way the Neptune's made of paper. If I was in that position on the Neptune, I would have got citadel 3 times. But I do get hit by the Henri, but luckily there's not too much damage. And I managed to survive. And now I see the Edinburgh's capturing B. And I know he's low HP. So I'm going to push towards B. The Kurfürst, the Henri, and the Conqueror can be dealt with by the rest of my team. And I can push into B. And easily... Well, at this point I can probably easily 1v1 the Edinburgh. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to speed it up here a little bit. Alright. So we see the Musashi. He's almost dead. So that gives us the freedom to push into B. Because the only ship that can be there is Edinburgh. The Kurfürst is behind that island and probably won't be able to open up on me. So I just have to push. And that's what I'm going to do right now. There we go. We see the Edinburgh and we open up. Immediately I start angling. I know that any one of these shells can completely citadel me. We're fortunate and we get a citadel. He doesn't angle quickly enough. And we effectively, basically force him off the point. These AP shells are so effective at close range. And this is a very good demonstration of the fact. Again, looking into my view, I'm coming into B. The Edinburgh is just leaving. This leaves me in a prime position to capture B. Now I look to take out the Edinburgh. I fire off some shots. Before I get detected by the Kurfürst, I'm going to stop shooting. I'm 12.6 kilometers, and he's pushing away from B. So my detectability range is 10.6. I don't know why I smoked up here. That was a complete mistake. Don't do that. Never do that. But he's pushing away from B, which gives me the opportunity to push into B and take the point. The smoke allows me to get a couple shots off without being detected, but it's not really worth it. It's not really worth using the smoke for that, especially when it's not premium. I've got a little bit of protection from the Yamato, so pushing into B is pretty much the best situation. Looking around, we see the Fletcher about to go down here. They're having a party in C4 and C5 for some reason. They don't really feel like defending points, I suppose. And yeah. And this should be pretty free at this point. The Fletcher's about to go down. We're capping B. And we get that. Right now the Kurfürst has me detected, so I need to be really careful. I'm going to turn left, use the island as cover, and get undetected again. Concealment before shooting. If I opened up here on the Kurfürst, I'd probably be dead. So I turn left, keep looking around. Map awareness is so important. And we're just going to wait until we cap the point. We can speed this up a little bit. And we're going to push past the point where I ground, because that's not important. And we're going to come out of A and open fire. And we're going to push in. And at this point, the game's pretty much over, but I think I demonstrated a lot of the important aspects already. So this is just basically a cleanup operation at this point. Now, this right here is something you don't want to do. You don't want to open up on a Kurfürst at 12 kilometers and you're not really angled. This was a fairly stupid move by me. So don't do that. Always smoke up first. Again, you have the Republic right here, the Conqueror right here. I should be dead in this situation. I 100% should be dead. I'm lucky to be alive. This was really ridiculous pushing. You should always wait to get smoke and then you can push. So although I didn't do all that much damage, only 65,000, I think I played a pretty controlled game, a pretty effective game. And definitely aided in getting our team the win. Just being able to sit in advanced positions and smoke up is incredibly useful. It gives your team so much power. I see here, we're going to see... And with that, it ends the game. So that was basically the overview of how to play the Neptune. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And I'll see you next time.